The artwork for this album is very different and unusual from your usual album covers. Can you tell us something about that?
I really wanted to do something that was different for the artwork of this album. My idea was that since it was a very organic type piano approach, that we should also have something organic for the artwork. And I kind of had my heart set on having a cover that would be like pencil drawn. And so I kind of put the word out on my whole little internet world and asked to see some different things. And in doing that, I realized that, you know, right in my own backyard, I have a very, very talented artist whose name is Andrew Saltmarsh. We call him Salty. He's in Australia. And he actually came through with some really great stuff. He's a very creative guy. He does a lot of web work for me and runs my website. So he came up with this great drawing that really, really works. So that's what's on the cover. And then for the rest of the package, we used my good friend Paul Undersinger, who does some incredible graphic work. So altogether, it's a very, very nice package that I'm very pleased with.
Much of Dream Theater's music is based around guitar. What challenges did that present in creating arrangements for solo piano?
Yeah, the guitar always brings up challenges because the guitar is such a powerful force in Dream Theater's music that it really makes you think about, as a keyboard player, for a lot of the music it makes me think about what can I do to both support the guitar and also to color around it. A lot of my job as a keyboardist, I feel, is kind of like as a painter, because you have these set colors, like the guitar, the drums, the bass, the voice, but then the keyboards can be anything. So for instance, in Dream Theater, what I do is if I want to support the guitar as far as making it like this, have more energy or more rocking, I'll find these gritty, crunchy sounds that can add, you know, a different character. We have one sound that's called the snarling pig that adds a real element to the guitar and changes it up a lot. So when it came time to do Notes on a Dream, you know, I had to think, okay, well the guitar, of course, is a focus at times there too. But then it's a different game, because then I'm not fighting for sonic space or coloring around the guitar. Then I'm just presenting the music on piano. So it was kind of nice to get away from the usual Dream Theater orchestration and just be able to flesh it out on the piano and see if I could make it all sound full and keep the melody really clean and keep it, you know, resonating and give the effect that, you know, I wanted to feel, that I wanted all of you to feel from just having a solo instrument.
Okay. While the album features the virtuosity that one would expect from a Jordan Rudess recording, it also shows off the lyrical side of Dream Theater's music. Was it your goal to reveal more of that side of the music to the audience?
I feel that so many people miss out on Dream Theater's music. You know, when we do shows, we always make jokes because we say, oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of foxy dudes in the audience. Because we really get a very small percentage of women in our audiences. And I think that if more women were exposed to certain elements of our music, like the ballads, even with the Dream Theater arrangements, if they could just go right to them, if they could hear, you know, A Spirit Carries On, or A Silent Man, or Lifting Shadows, if they didn't have to listen all through Metropolis to get there, I think that they would go, wow, what beautiful music, I love this, you know, Answer Lies Within, all these songs that I chose for Notes on a Dream, I think are songs that, even in the present Dream Theater arrangement form, if you played them for people who wouldn't ordinarily listen to Dream Theater, they would go, wow, I really like that. We lose audience, we gain and we lose audiences by having all our other, you know, more progressive music that makes quick changes and turns. That's something that people love and maybe people will steer away from. So in this album I wanted to say, okay, well we can take these melodies, and in my lyrical piano style I can take these gorgeous melodies and make it something different. And I think it's kind of cool, if I dare say so myself, to have that come from a Dream Theater member. You know, because I'm involved with the creation of these tunes and with also the progressive rocking madness of our world. But at the same time, I'm able to, and I have the desire to play the music in a completely different way and share it all with you.
Many of the pieces on the album appear to have a very deliberate structure to the arrangements, but also seem to maintain an improvisational feel to them. How much of the arrangements do you leave open to spontaneous improvisation, or are you always just open to arranging on the fly?
It's a real combination of things for me as far as the arrangements go. I wanted to stay very true to the melodies and make sure that you could hear the melody in all the different sections that the piece offered as far as the melodic content. Beyond that, I felt like I could just kind of weave and do things. Some of the pieces have some very unusual arrangements to them, like what I did with Another Day, where I started it out, and you're like probably thinking, well, what is this? Because I started out in a similar key, but I went and I weaved and I did something a little bit more progressive. And then finally, after I go on this little progressive journey, I bring the thing back and it kind of fades into Another Day. In other pieces, like Lifting Shadows, you know, in the middle section it kind of goes off and it goes into a land that is not really part of the song, but then it comes back and goes back into what's more familiar. So there were certain parameters that I wanted to kind of lock down with things, but in other ways it was very improvisatory. I could kind of go off and let the muse guide me.
The track Perpetuum has a very contrapuntal texture to it. Did you work out that counterpoint on paper?
Yeah, the song is called Perpetuum mobile, and I wanted it to be that kind of Bach-like counterpoint. I didn't work it out on paper. What I've always practiced and what I'm interested in is being able to play multiple voices with like a single hand. And I was always fascinated with like Bach fugues and things like that, and also the technique that's involved in doing that. So with the Perpetuum mobile, that's what I was going for. It was very improvisatory. I would just play until something like really worked out and I thought it was cool, and then I'd hit record and I'd go for it until I thought, oh well, let me compose it from that point and go again. And that's a style that I wanted to actually put out there because it's something that I'm really interested in, both musically, first musically, but then technically. I think it's something that keyboard players should be more aware of, that kind of skill where you have the independence of the hands to be able to hold down two notes and move the other fingers, and you know, you have some real choices there for how you want to express yourself when you can start controlling your hands. You're playing all these physical instruments like guitars and pianos. It's almost like a sport. If you want to execute your ideas, you have to be in physical condition to do that. So I feel like with the Perpetuum tune that I was able to express myself in this particular contrapuntal way because I can.
In closing, is there anything else that you'd like to say about this record?
Notes on a Dream was a real pleasure to put together. It's especially fun because I feel like nobody's ever really done this particular kind of take on Dream Theater. We've had people do string quartets, and I don't know, I heard somebody do like a French horn thing and percussion ensembles, or, you know, all this different kind of things that are all very cool. But nobody's ever really done an album of piano music. So I felt that this was a great idea to do this now. This is my 10th year with Dream Theater. It's my anniversary offering. Not really. But I'm just pleased to have gotten this album done, to be able to put it out, to share it with all of you, and I look forward to seeing you all on the road. Rock on.